Okay, let's see if this works. I'm on a limited broadband network. Okay, it is coming up. Excellent. You see if people start jumping on here. Okay, it seems like they are. Just a little bit of lag on my end because I am on a hotel internet service. All right. Hey, everybody. Okay, now we're coming in. Houston, Texas, Queens, New York. Fantastic. I am not at home. I actually just barely made it on for 9:30 tonight because I just got to where I am, which is we are getting out of town for a weekend because it is my wife's birthday. And so I am on a undisclosed beach location right now. So that's where I am. Wherever you are, I'm going to give you about 15 minutes tonight, really quick, because yes, it is my wife's birthday weekend, and I am at the beach, and I don't want to spend too much time, and I'll be back on Sunday night as normal. So my internet is hotel internet right now, so I will do my best with cutting in and out. I hope it works really well. Everyone who sent me emails, we're getting to them all, so don't worry. We got you covered, okay? Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, your source for health, freedom, and knowledge. Welcome to Friday night. I am not in DC this weekend. It is my wife's birthday. So we are at the beach for the weekend, to her birthday. And if the video cuts out here and there, I apologize. I bought the highest internet I could at the hotel. So anyway, let me get started because I am limited on time tonight. I'm going to do my best to give you about a 15-minute overview. And then I will be back on Sunday night. Should be from my home studio and back to normal. But it is Friday. It is crazy. Everything is doing up and down things. So first of all, the president gave a jobs report today. Did everybody see some of the jobs report that he did? Now, I'm gonna warn you first of all. Let me warn you. We are not in a great economy right now. We have a high unemployment, which is not normal. So most of you think, and most people talk about how because the stock market is up, everything is okay. Now, that is not necessarily 100% true. Yes, the stock market is up, but guess what? With the stock market, a lot of very wealthy people like Wall Street and everything else, they make a lot of money off Wall Street and the stock market. So just because the stock market is up doesn't mean that we're living in a wonderful economy. Because right now, keep in mind, we have a lot of people furloughed. We have a lot of people who have been let go because companies went out of business. I talked to somebody today, and their job is gone because literally their company went under because they just can't go for 2 months without going and making revenue. So yes, it's good that we had the best May ever, but at the same time, we still have to get everything back online. We have probably at least 10 to 20 million people who are out of a job right now that were not out of a job just a few months ago because of the plandemic, because that's exactly what it was. It was a scare-demic. Had nothing to do with anything. Yes, there was a virus of some kind, but this thing is not what they said it was. So, by the way, thank you for everyone saying happy birthday to Dr. Palmer, my wife, Lisa Palmer. I appreciate it. She'll see these comments, and then you can message her as well. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. She will appreciate it. So, the jobs report out, yes, it's good news. And yes, we're trying to get this thing up so that he can get reelected. Because let me tell you, if that economy goes down any worse than it was, he doesn't get reelected because that's his thing. And right now, we have to have President Trump get elected. Okay, get reelected. We have to. There is another choice. You cannot have the deep state cabal be elected. You cannot have Joe Biden or anybody else be elected. That's just not going to work. Okay, so you need to know that. Now, also, I did upload Dr. Judy Mikovits' interview back to YouTube, and what I did was, we'll see how long it lasts. But what I did was I changed the name, and I didn't put her name in the title. So I'm getting away with it for the time being. We'll see how long it lasts. I'm going to put some tags in there with her name on it, so hopefully they keep it up for a little bit, but my guess is they will probably catch on at a certain time, okay? Now, let me go on to the next topic because we are limited tonight. Political correctness and the rioting, okay? So the rioters are trying to say, and I actually made a comment on somebody's Facebook feed today who was protesting in downtown Orlando. Now, I don't necessarily mind protesting. However, when you go downtown and protest, and say you have a couple hundred people, 500 people, 1,000 plus people, if you are the person who is organizing the protest and you mean to be peaceful, you cannot control 500, 1,000 plus people. And so the person who was protesting was upset in Orlando because they started pepper spraying. Now, the reason why they're doing that is because, yes, you might be peacefully protesting, and I have no problem with that, and I have no problem with you protesting over a black man being killed if that's what happened, and that's what most of the people know, so I have to go with that belief system for the majority of the people because that's what they understand. So, yes, that's a problem. However, if you get 1,000 plus people who are protesting, guess what? Not all 1,000 are going to do what they're supposed to do and peacefully protest. And the police officers, okay, the majority of them are good. The majority of them are trying to take care of our citizens because that's what they're paid to do. All right? A few may not. However, if you have a couple people that do something really stupid, like break glass, destroy property, do something to a business that is against the law or bad, they're going to assume, because you basically have to, because their job is to protect the public, is they're going to assume that the whole group is not being good. Now, they have to do that because they have to take care of the citizens. So please don't go down and protest and then wonder why something happens to you because you weren't doing something bad, but somebody else was, right? They have to help the majority. And if someone is being stupid, so don't get down there and then complain that something bad is happening and you're getting pepper sprayed or you're getting maced or rubber bulleted or whatever it is because a group of people out of your group started acting stupid. They want to make sure nobody gets hurt. So I have to defend our police because at the end of the day, I don't believe the majority of our police are bad people. I believe the majority of our police are very good people trying to help our citizens. So please, please, please don't get on social media in your little protest and your little riot and say how crappy the police are and they're doing this and they're doing that and everything else because it's not the majority. That's called generalization. Overall, they're good people. Now, there's several videos out there on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc., where it shows police being really rough in certain parts of the country. Well, again, I'm not saying it's totally justified, and if there's an officer who is doing something that is not correct, then yes, they should be turned in. Yes, they should be dealt with by their precinct or wherever they come from or however that works. Absolutely 100%. But don't do stupid stuff and then expect to not get handled by our law enforcement officers. There was also a picture last night where an older gentleman was going up right up to the police, and then he got pushed down, and supposedly there was blood in the back of his head running out his ear. That video, there is something to that video. I don't believe it's just on the up and up. I think there was something going on with that. If you go to Twitter, there's actually some conspiracy theories on that. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just saying that it doesn't look totally legit. But however, keep in mind too, what I didn't like about that video is, one, I don't like the police pushing. I totally agree. The police should not have done that. However, how many 65, 70-plus-year-old old men go right up and get in the face of an officer? He was not acting normal, just so you know. I lean towards that was staged. I lean towards that was not blood coming out of his ear. Now, the reason I say that, don't get mad at me. Some people will say, well, as an old person, it was old. From a physician standpoint, First of all, from strictly an observation standpoint, you don't see older gentlemen come right up and get in the face of an officer. That's really strange just to begin with. Then when he's pushed back, the video doesn't show him hit. I don't know if his head hit or not. But then his head was levitating off the ground and blood was coming out of his ear. It looks suspect to me. That's all I'll say. Okay. I have not studied it. I just looked at the video a couple of times. I saw what some of the anons were writing and everything else. It just looks suspect. Okay. It looks suspect. Do not go get in police faces. Why would you do that, first of all? And someone that old, and I'm not saying he's old. I mean, obviously he's in his 60s, 70s. I don't consider that old. But someone on the older side, I don't see why they would do that. I would never do that, okay? I don't understand. I believe it was staged, and if he was injured, I believe he set it up to get a reaction, and then maybe that's what happened to him. Or it was a total crisis actor situation where the blood wasn't real, any of it wasn't real. Either way, that person was on purpose doing something to get those police to react that way. This is what's going on. That leads me into my next thing. I'm going to talk on this later because I have a whole article I've been reading through regarding how this is working, and I'm going to have to break it down because it's almost like a crime scene type situation. But do you remember me talking about Bill Gates and other very wealthy people, how they put all their money into like the Gates Foundation or other foundations, so then they can use that money to do things for charity or philanthropic reasons, when in reality, they're not doing it for that at all. They're actually doing it for something harm. Now, I'm going to go into this very briefly tonight, and then I'm going to touch on my last subject, and then we're going to be done because then I got to go spend time with my lovely wife on her birthday weekend. So it's going to be a short one tonight, and then we'll be back to normal on Sundays. We should be, okay? However, George Soros, I am actually uncovering now how George Soros is taking his billions, or money from his billions, he's putting it into, on the outside, looking like philanthropic charity organizations. And there's not just one. It's not just like the Gates Foundation, okay? He's putting them into different organizations that are charity organizations. Then those charity organizations are giving the money to small local groups that also sound like charity organizations. Then those small local groups give money to places like Antifa and anarchy and communist and socialist groups. Okay? That's how this works. So when you see these groups doing something, the money is not going to just go directly back and not be traced back to George Soros. That's how this works, okay? It is very sinister. It's not going to be something you can just nail Soros for right away, because it's essentially like sleeper cells. That's essentially what it is, okay? This is how the deep state, the cabal, the wealthy, this is how they work it. This is how they use it. And it's very, very challenging to hunt down. So this money is being put, it probably goes through at least 3 levels of organizations before it finally gets to an anarchy or Antifa or communistic socialistic organization. So by the time it gets to that point, Soros has been completely almost disconnected to it, okay? Completely. So I'm going to go into that later on a different time. But it's very important you know that, because that's how this works. That's how they're getting away with it. And that's how he's not. So hopefully NSA, military intelligence, I hope they've gotten to the deep part of this. And I hope that they already have this information. By the way, just so you guys know, my internet is not as fast as I'd like it to be here. So your comments as they come in, I'm not really getting all your comments. So just so you know, I don't mean to ignore all of you tonight, but they're lagged on my end because of my internet service, okay? On my side. So again, we're going to keep this one short because I have limited resources on this end, okay? Here you go. I'm going to drop this bomb on you before I go off tonight, okay? This is the bomb I'm going to drop. Are you guys ready for a extraterrestrial bomb, per se? Okay. Okay. This is the extraterrestrial bomb that I'm going to drop on you. And I kind of known this, but... And yeah, I'm glad you guys can hear me. It's on my end. It's freezing up and stuff like that. So as long as it's good on your end, I'm happy. But that's why I'm going to cut it a little short tonight for many reasons, okay? But I want to drop this bomb on you, okay? This is the bomb. The pyramids, okay? The pyramids were created by the Anunnaki. You can't see it on my phone here. I have it. I was looking at it tonight. Everyone doesn't believe or doesn't understand how the pyramids were created. Were they created by regular people? Were they created by ET sources, etc.? I believe this also goes back into last night's electricity storm in Washington, D.C. Did everyone see the lightning in Washington, D.C. last night? It hit Washington Monument, which is a Masonic symbol. By the way, just so you know, George Washington, most of our founders were Masons. Most of them were Freemasons. A lot of them were 33-degree Freemasons. So don't think our founders were perfect people, because they were not. And I think actually we're taking the best of the Republic and we're shedding away the old Masonic stuff, because the Masonic stuff is not all wonderful. But the lightning bolt, there was 2 lightning bolts. I mean, there were several, but there was one that struck the top of the monument. There was another one on the right that had a O or almost a Q-ish look to it. And a lot of people are asking me, was that real? Was that Photoshop? No. But first of all, Dan Scavino, who is connected to President Trump, is the one who originally tweeted it out. So it was his video. And then it went crazy everywhere, okay? Totally legit. Do I think that there's something to do with God, with ET stuff? I don't see how there isn't, okay? I get excited about this, by the way, too. The pyramids, okay? The pyramids were created by Anunnaki, so we're going down that road. Sorry, guys. You have to go down this road if you want to understand some of our origins, okay? You were not told the whole truth. Now, on top of that, they were a source of power, free energy. Think Tesla before Tesla, okay? If you think Tesla just discovered free energy, but he didn't. Obviously, it was way before that too. They were energy sources, the pyramids. They have actual gold generators. Literally gold generators that powered energy back then. Okay? I'm telling you, this is also connected to today with the electricity with Trump. Remember, Trump's Uncle John was friends with Tesla. This is coming together. But that lightning strike, not only was it a cube, it also looked like a serpent's eye with a slit down the middle, because there was the strike down the middle with the kind of a weird electrical pattern around it with a little slash underneath. It was a little hard to see, but it was insane. So I think the ETs, the Anunnaki, touched down during the pyramids, created the pyramids. I think we are going back through a new shift that is going to be unbelievable. And I truly, truly believe political correctness. Let me drop this on you. Sodom and Gomorrah fell. Babylon fell. Rome fell. Rome was just another Babylon, another Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, I'm going biblical here. Going fast forward. I'm not sure all the civilizations that fell, because remember, we repeat history. I believe we're repeating history, but we're going to stop history. We're going to stop from repeating, okay? Now, this is what I think is happening. I think America and a lot of the other planet they were Babylon, they were Rome, and we were Sodom and Gomorrah. Because quite honestly, we have lost our morals, we have lost our ethics, we have lost our respect for God. We've lost our respect for Jesus Christ. We've lost our respect for all prophets. We've lost respect for spirituality. And whatever God is, I kind of feel like God's pretty pissed right now. And I don't typically say that, but I combine God with Christ, with consciousness, with natural laws. That's how my world works, okay? And so he ain't happy. Whatever God is, whether it's guy, girl, none of the above, energy source, doesn't matter. We have revolted against our ethics, our morals as a community, as a society. We are not supposed to be watching porn on television, and even regular television now is. Our kids are being destroyed. We've medicated ourselves. We're on pain pills. We're on opioids. This has been the degradation of society. In America, we were not always like this. If you go back to our founders, yes, they had problems, but they also had ethics. They had morals. You didn't see all this stuff back then. I think we're coming to a point in history where this has to go. And I honestly think that, and I'm going to kind of get I'm not trying to get biblical here. I'm trying to get spiritual here, because there's a difference between religion and spirituality. I believe there's something called sin, meaning you've done something wrong that goes against your own ethics, your own morals, the society's morals. And I kind of feel like we have been given a moment in time, whether that's like a day or that's a year. I don't know in God's terms, because there is no such thing. Time is a human construct, okay? There really is technically no time. Time is a human construct. But I believe whether it's been the last decade, 100 years, whatever it is, I believe God gave us a chance to quote unquote repent. And I'm sorry if you don't like any of these terms. These are just the terms that I know most people understand. I believe we are given time to repent from our misdoings. Think about the Vatican. Think about the Queen. Think about the Pentagon. Think about all the stuff we've done. And on top of that, the immorality of breaking the family apart. Again, porn. We're talking about allowing our kids to be taken from us. All this is coming to a head. And it's almost like God gave us a chance to repent. And guess what happened? We didn't. And so when that happens, now he's pissed. And now he takes over. And I believe I'm not, and by the way, I'm not creating President Trump as a deity. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not even calling him any sort of Messiah at all. However, I believe sometimes people are used by God's source, and sometimes those people are not who we expect them to be. And I believe shit's about to hit the fan, because we did not, quote unquote, repent, okay? And now it's time for the trash to be taken out. And that trash could be anything from Hollywood to you name it. I think you understand when I say that. The trash has to be taken out. So I think we're getting to the point where it's going to get messy. We're not going to like some of it. We're going to like some of it. I will just tell you, I think personally right now, and especially for me, I look at my own ethics. I look at my own morality. I look at my own rules and laws that I live by, right? I'm married. I have a child. I help take care of people. I have to be as clean as humanly possible, okay? So do other people. So I think a good thing to do right now is obviously do a lot of praying, do a lot of meditating, however you do it. Make sure you're clean and you're good. And I'm not trying to get preacher here. This is not my intention. I'm not trying to even make anybody wrong. That's not what I'm doing here. Even though I sound preachy and spiritual tonight, Bible-ish, that's what I'm doing. I'm just saying this from a strictly human and spiritual standpoint, because I think what's coming, I think there's going to be some people that don't make it. I think there's going to be some people that don't make it because they've done some things that are not good at all. You know, the Clinton stuff, the Huma Abedin stuff, the Podesta stuff, There are some people that are not surviving this. And this is not just a military thing. This is not just a political thing. This is a God thing. This is going into the next dimension. And yes, you can have spirituality, you can have God, you can have ETs, you can have astrology, you can have all this stuff. it all blends together. It all is one. It's all combined, even though some people don't want to believe that. But we are entering into a new phase, and in this new phase, laws and rules go back in because we are supposed to live ethical and moral lives, right? We are supposed to take care of our own. We are supposed to take care of our wife and take care of our children and take care of our elderly we are supposed to take care of our people. We are supposed to have proper government set up. We are supposed to have proper laws and orders. We don't do anarchy. You don't get to just go around and do whatever the hell you want and destroy things. You have ethical police forces. You have ethical justices. You have ethical judges. That's how life's supposed to work, okay? This is what we're going to. And I will tell you, just get ready and make sure you are good and make sure you are spiritually sound. Make sure your ethics and morals in. And I can't tell you for you what yours are. I only know how I'm supposed to live. So get ready because that lightning strike last night, there was more to that lightning strike, those lightning strikes. And then I see the political correctness going on in this country. I'm not going to name any names of segments of demographics of our population, but I will tell you, not everyone's going through to the other side. Because if you're playing with fire, even if you think it's okay, even if you think what you're doing is all right, there's certain things that you're not supposed to be doing. And it's not going to be allowed. And I think that's what's coming down the pike. So, sorry guys. I hope that wasn't too preachy for you. That was not my intent. And I'm going to go more into this as we go. But this is a spiritual battle. And in spirituality, no matter which faith you come from, you are not supposed to hurt people. You're not supposed to hurt yourself. You're not supposed to hurt your family. And we have shed our ethics and morals for my entire lifetime watching this place. And God, karma, always, natural law, nature, always wins. Always wins. And that wins over us. So if we were not doing so good, if we were bad, we get flipped off this planet real fast. And that's what we're coming to, okay? Okay, I went over my time. You know, once I get going, I get going. Anyway, I hope that helps. I'm not taking questions tonight because I'm now going to go spend time with my wife, my daughter, some friends, and I will see you guys on Sunday. I will be on my phone off and on because like me detaching from what I love, and my wife will be on her phone too. So don't think I'm ignoring her because I'm not ignoring her. I'll be on the beach tomorrow, but we all like to help people. So my wife will even be on her phone, I'm sure. So if you message her, I'm sure she'll see it at some point. But we love you all. I hope this was helpful tonight, even though it was shorter. I hope you understood too, and I hope I wasn't too preachy and too... some people don't like when I get spiritual and religious, but we all have that side, and that is what helps guide us in this world. So, and I will talk more about the pyramids and the Anunnaki and the ETs because it does play a role in this. But guys, have an amazing Friday night. Have an amazing weekend. I hope you're all well. I'm going to go head off and have fun. Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network. Take good care of yourself, guys. Be safe. Be well. Have a wonderful, happy weekend. Have a good night. Bye.